Welcome to Tampa Home Talk with your host, native Tampa real estate girl, Katrina Madewell, a full-time, passionate, out-of-the-box thinker, love for home ownership kind of realtor with over 21 years of combined mortgage and real estate experience. Tune in every week at this time for expert advice on everything you need to know about home ownership, finance, maintaining great credit, building wealth, and making your everyday life better, and how you can be financially successful today and tomorrow. Remember, love where you live or let Katrina fix it. Now, here's your host of Tampa Home Talk, Katrina Madewell.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're happy to have you back. And if it's your first time joining us today for Tampa Home Talk, welcome. We'll be here same time, same place every week with an amazing show lined up for you. Anything that's in and around our mission, which is to help you keep and maintain great credit, live within your means, and build wealth. If it's also anything in and around the home ownership space, we are all about it, which leads me to my awesome guest for the day. Really excited to have these guys in studio. Been around for a long, long time, grew up in the construction, home building industry, and really just have a wealth of information to bring you. So our topic for this week's show is going to be zero energy homes and green home building, and just some of the things that make up a green home. How do you actually get to a zero energy home, meaning you do not have a power bill at all, and not even mentioning or going into the detail of construction, which we'll get into. Ron Schulte is with Marc Rutenberg Homes. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
You're welcome. Hello, Tampa Bay.
No stranger to radio, of course. And you've done a lot of these. You share your homes all the time. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to get by to check out the model before the show like I wanted to, but we'll definitely plan that another day, because after talking about the home, I can hardly wait to see it.
Maybe we can get you excited enough to come.
I will definitely come, without a doubt. I'm already excited.
Okay, thanks.
So I know that we were talking a little bit about what goes into the home and all that stuff, but I know the person listening, they might be curious, right? Because, of course, I asked you. The Rutenberg name has been in and around the Tampa Bay area forever, and they have expanded into many different markets all across the U.S. People are very familiar with Arthur Rutenberg, the builder. They're familiar with Charles Rutenberg, the real estate agent. And, of course, Marc Rutenberg, also building green zero-energy homes. But people, a lot of times, I think, mix us up and think we're all one and the same.
Not true. So Marc Rutenberg is the son of Charles Rutenberg. He's deceased. And Arthur Rutenberg is Mark's uncle. So there's two different companies. Marc Rutenberg does the custom homes. We're into the zero energy and just anything you can imagine we can build. Arthur Rutenberg is a company that franchises the best builders in the area, from Clearwater all the way up through the South and the Carolinas, Georgia, and they're moving towards Texas, I bet, and a number of other places. So we're totally separate entities. However, Mark, being Arthur's uncle, or nephew, owns the franchise to build Arthur Rutenberg Homes in the Pinellas County area, as well as South Tampa and Davis Island. So you really do have two brands to deal with, Marc Rutenberg and Arthur Rutenberg with us.
And it's crazy. I can't tell you all the times that I connect or I have on a Rutenberg shirt and people are like, oh, the builder, not exactly, like the real estate company. Like, and you have to explain that whole thing. But jumping into your model, first of all, we have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about today, but you have a model here locally.
In Palm Harbor.
And do you want to give out the address? And we'll also post that at tampahometalk.com and on Facebook and Twitter at Tampa Home Talk.
Sure. Our preview center is 3001 Hawks Landing Boulevard, Palm Harbor, Florida, 34685. So we're right in the front gates of Hawks Landing where our model is. So stop in the preview center. We can show you all the different communities we build in. We develop our own communities as well as build on your lot. So stop by, see us, and we'll go take a peek at the model.
Which is awesome because not everybody builds on your lot. There's a lot of builders out there, but many of them build in these pre-platted subdivisions. And like me, for example, I have a couple clients right now that are interested in building on their own property. You know, they want what they want on their own space.
That's really the biggest part of our production right now is on your lot. I've got homes going up in Davis Island, in South Tampa, all the way down to St. Pete, Champions Club in Pasco County. So if you don't have a lot, but yet you don't want to be in the typical gated subdivision, then we'll go out and find a lot for you, help you buy it, and then we'll design a custom home and build on it.
So if someone were to go to the model and they're checking that out, can you give the person listening an idea what to expect when they get to the model? Like, what are some of the things they're going to see?
Well, number one, it's a zero energy home. And there is an upcharge to go zero energy. So you have a choice. You can go the zero energy program with us, which costs you about another 10 to 12% more, but you don't have electric bill. You get a 30% tax credit the first year you're in a home. And if you're interested in saving the planet, if you're interested in getting off the grid with the power companies, and we all know that we're not too happy with those big monopolies right now, zero energy is a great way to go. If you don't, with us being a zero energy builder, we couldn't just say, okay, we're going to build the average house that every other guy does in town. So what we do is we give you a high performance home. So it's certain aspects of the zero energy program are in your standard Marc Rutenberg home, like the icing insulation. It totally seals your attic. My attic temperature runs between 65 degrees and 78 degrees. It's keeping the house cool. The attic is totally sealed, so I don't have bugs and pollen and dust getting recirculated into your air conditioning, so the air quality in your home is outstanding. We do the impact glass windows as a standard feature in our high performance homes, which is critical to getting to zero energy as well. So our specifications, typically if you look at the normal builder, it takes them about $200,000 in upgrades to get to my standard specifications.
Now, when you talk about, you say icing insulation?
Icing, yes.
Icing. Is that a brand or is that a certain specification of insulation?
It's a generic term for foam insulation in the attic. So here's the process, is we spray the entire attic with this foam. It has a typical R value of R13, but that's not what we're looking for. It has a thermal value that probably gives you as good of insulation as if you were at an R28 to an R30. But more than that you don't have the standard ventilated soffit in the ridge vent, with the theory being you bring in this wet, humid Florida air into the attic trying to push the hot air out. It doesn't work, but you're immediately growing mold and mildew.
Which is interesting because you look at almost any home in Florida, right, or even the older homes that didn't have it, they literally, I've seen them cut the top, the ridge vents or the peak of that roof to put in the ridge vents and add the airflow throughout the attic.
Well, I got to tell you, it's the wrong way, but builders are creatures of habit, and they're doing things the way that their grandparents did and their great-great-grandfather, and this is the new generation of building, and we're at the peak of it.
Now, when and how did you guys stumble across the fact that you should seal up the whole attic and insulate it with foam, and then the health benefits, like you just mentioned, that come along with that?
It's a really long story, but Mark is an environmentalist, always has been, and when the real estate market crashed, all of us had to reinvent ourselves. And so Mark said, you know what, I'm going to design and build a zero-energy home that's healthy, that's green, that saves water, and he did it. He got a grant from the state of Florida. We built 4 zero-energy homes. All of them are working perfectly. The people do not have an electric bill. And now 55% of our production is actually totally zero energy.
So it started out as an experiment with a grant. Is that right? Sort of, in a sense?
Well, everybody in town thought it was an experiment. We think we know what we were doing.
People like me would look at it and go, oh, this experiment. And Mark, from an engineer perspective, was like, no, I got this.
Yeah, and I do laugh at Mark. Basically the first model that we built, I call it his laboratory. He would put something in, didn't like the performance, didn't think it was what he was trying to create. So they put a lot of stuff in, took a lot of stuff out. And how can you as a consumer afford to do that? You can't.
Right.
We perfected the system.
How long does it take to test something like that?
It was a 3-year process.
Okay.
But more than that, you had so many different engineers. For instance, to make sure that we get maximum production from our solar panels, we have to do a sun study to see where we're going to get maximum production, if in fact it will work. So I had this guy in Bel Air His neighbors had 40-foot tall oak trees all the way down the side property line, and he desperately wanted it to be zero energy. We were afraid that we might not get good enough production. So I told our engineer, do a sun study, and I want you to build a 40-foot solid wall down that property line and tell me if we can get maximum production. And we did. So there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Hence the evolution of the zero energy home.
Exactly. And, I'm 66 years old. I've built everything there is possible to build in the marketplace, from Nebraska to Texas to Florida to the Bahamas. Mark's family's been building for 60 years. And we get bored easily. We don't like doing the same thing. So this is a great way for me to retire. In fact, they make fun of me. They say, Ron, you're the oldest guy on the sales floor, and you've got the newest technology in the marketplace.
I love it. Put the new guys down. You're listening to Ron Schulte with Marc Rutenberg Homes. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. You are listening to Tampa Home Talk. We've got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what is a zero energy home and how do you get there? How do you actually classify it as zero energy? Back in a moment.
Without you, so find your desperation, 'cause it's time to go.
Hey, Katrina Madewell here. Just wanted to make sure you know how to reach us on our off-air number. If you'd like to connect with myself or any of our guests, you can call us at 813-377-2775. Again, this is Katrina Madewell, host of Tampa Home Talk, and to connect with myself or any guests we have on air, just call or text at 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775.
Aaron Davis here, owner of Hillsborough Title, serving all of Tampa Bay. Our service, strength, and knowledge make us different. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
Curious what your Tampa home is worth? Here's an easy way to find out what homes like yours are selling for in today's market. Text the word value to 813-377-2775 for a free report on Tampa house prices. We'll send you a free report with up-to-the-minute statistics based on all homes for sale sold in your neighborhood over the last 6 months in all price ranges. To get your free report on Tampa Bay house prices, just call or text the word value to 813-377-2775.
You're buying a house. Congratulations. So while you're worrying about the paperwork, leave the moving part to us. We're Woody & Sons Moving Company, a Florida licensed and insured mover, and we offer same-day written estimates. Plus, no sneaky mileage, stairs, or additional stop fees. All we ask is that you check out our great ratings on Google and Angie's List, then go to woodyandsons.com to learn more. Whether you need a full-service pack and move or some extra hands, at Woody & Sons Moving Company, we move you.
Hey, this is Hal Elrod, author of The Miracle Morning, and you're listening to Tampa Home Talk.
Welcome back, and you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell, and in studio today we have Ron Schulte of Marc Rutenberg Homes, and we're talking all about the green and zero energy homes that they have been building for several years now. And right before the break, I promised, I said, let's talk about zero energy. So if someone asked you the question, Ron, they said, a zero energy home, what actually makes it a zero energy home? Like, how do you get there?
Okay, I'll have to speed it up here. So to get to a zero energy home, it's all about the systems, the products that you use in the home. So number one is the insulation. I've got to have the best insulation in the marketplace, and that's the Icing insulation. In my 4,500 square foot model, that's probably saving me $200 a month on the electric bill. That's power that I get to sell to the power company instead of paying them. Then I have to have the best windows. So we use a Solar Band 70 impact glass window that doesn't allow any heat or cold going through it. So again, I'm probably saving $200 a month on that. I have to have economic lighting, so we use nothing but LED lighting, and thank goodness I don't have to change a light bulb for 22 years. But think about this. We did a study on our
That's
air
amazing.
conditioning.
Like,
It is.
just the tag on the we have super high ceilings, and it's like, I'm afraid of heights, so to get me on the ladder, I'm like, no thanks. So the last time I bought the bulbs, I bought the LED, like 20-year bulbs. I'm like, I'm not changing these suckers again for like ever.
Exactly, but what you really did is you don't have all that heat in your house. So we did an AC study on our home. Had I used regular light bulbs like everybody else, instead of our LED, I would have had to put in another 1.5 tons of air conditioning to offset the heat that those bulbs generate. So now I'm saving money, about $75 a month on the electric bill because of the LED lighting.
Excellent point. I mean, when you think about it so simplistic just from that perspective, the LED lighting and just light bulbs in general usually create heat. So if you
Exactly.
get, the energy efficiency, less heat,
It saved
less
a ton and a
air.
half of air conditioning. That's a lot of money.
It is.
So then, talking about air conditioning, we have to use the best air conditioning system in the marketplace. So we use an LG system. I have 5 air handlers in the house. Every major room or group of rooms has its own thermostat, so everybody's comfortable.
Nice.
Dehumidification.
My kids would love that.
Exactly. My relative humidity in the house is about 45%. Yours is 70%. The science says if I can get you at 55% relative humidity or lower, you feel 10 degrees cooler. So I have my thermostats in the home set at 80 degrees, and it's comfortable. People can't believe it.
Nobody's complaining. The kids aren't hot.
Never. If I put it at 78 degrees, you're chilly, and if I put it at 76 degrees, you're freezing. So it's a great system. So what that means is you're not using an awful lot of air conditioning. So I have a 4,500 square foot model. I should have had 11 to 12 tons of air conditioning. I have one 3.2 ton AC condenser to run that house. I'm saving $200 a month on my electricity. I've got a 10-year warranty on the AC system where everybody else has 5 or less, and it's probably a 20-year system. So,
it's LG. LG makes great products.
They really do. And I wish there was American producers so I could buy American.
I didn't even know they made an AC.
It's an incredible product. So we've got air conditioning, we've got the lighting, we've got the insulation, we've got the windows, and then we just have an absolutely gorgeous home on top of that.
Of course, yes.
Now that we're zero energy, what happens is the byproducts are health. Because of this AC system, I have zero dust in the home. People that have allergies, if they're in my house for 10 minutes, they ask me, why is the air so pure? Why can I breathe? It's because that AC system and that insulation are giving you a healthy home. I'm saving water. My water fixtures are 20 to 40% more efficient than anything in the marketplace. So my water bill runs between 20 and 30% lower than everybody else's. Even my irrigation system, you know that rain gauge you have on it that's supposed to turn it off when it rains?
Right.
I don't have one of those. I have an atmospheric sensor that tells the clock, the time clock of the irrigation system, how much humidity is in the air. The plants are soaking up that water, so it deducts minutes off of the timer, and I'm using 40% less water than anybody else on irrigation. The atmospheric gauge only costs $150. The clock is $200. Why doesn't everybody have one?
I know, right?
Because you don't know.
So,
we do.
A smart system, right? It sounds like it is.
Totally smart.
Everything operates by your phone now. It's all an app.
Exactly. So we're tied into the grid now. All of these products that we're using are saving electricity. So every single minute during the day, I'm selling power to the power company. And on a monthly basis, they'll let me go to zero on my bill with what I sold to them, but they won't give me the extra money back. But at the end of the year, we balance, and we got back another $2,800 that year after deducting our entire electric bill.
When you think about what the energy costs are alone, and the fact that you're actually getting a check back because you sold power to the power company, it doesn't take a lot of time at all to make up for that extra 10% or so that you spent just to build green and zero energy.
That's right. And then you have the highest technology. So the day that you go to sell your home and everybody says, right, I'm going to live here forever. No, you won't. You'll probably sell. You'll do something different. You don't have very many people to compete with. You're going to get maximum dollar for your home. The EPA has tracked zero energy homes. They're telling us that probably every dollar that you spent, you're getting $2.50 back. What kind of a rate of return do you get on anything else?
You can't get that on a CD or anything else right now.
By putting in the zero energy system, you get a 30% tax credit the first year you're in the home. In a $1 million home, that's probably $30,000 back. They write you a check. It's not a deduction. It's a tax credit.
That's fabulous.
So,
and, most of the people that are in that price point anyway could use the deduction, could use the tax credit. They're going to put that towards something else.
Exactly. But again, the health benefits of this zero energy green home, I think, is far more important than really saving the money in your electric bill.
Yes, absolutely. So basically, essentially, to get to a zero energy home, it's not like it's one thing. It's a combination of all of these things.
It's a complete system, correct.
And it's basically how the AC interacts with the LED lighting, interacts with
The
everything.
insulation.
Yes. And it's crazy to think that you leave your temperature at 78 and it's freezing, or 80 and it's perfect.
It is. Nobody can ever get comfortable in their homes. We are.
That's awesome.
So what is it like to be totally comfortable in your home and still you're not paying for it on the electric bill?
I love that. I love the fact that, builders in our area are going green. I'm glad you guys decided to reinvent yourself and take the initiative to actually go green and build these zero energy homes. We were discussing before the show how, Florida kind of follows a lot of California trends, and they're very green out there. There's a lot more green building and that type of stuff than we have here.
If I get somebody from California, they're sold. I mean, that is too easy.
The price ranges, they're a fraction of what they are in California, and then it's a completely, do they even have zero energy homes in California?
They do.
I don't know. They do. Okay.
Find another builder in this area that does. It doesn't exist.
It's not going to happen.
I don't know if your people are in tune with the different certifications that a home has, but in our standard home, if you didn't go zero energy, we're Florida Green Building Coalition certified. In my model, I'm actually LEED certified platinum. That's the highest certification you can get for any commercial or home. So we have the best certifications in the marketplace. I get so tired of hearing builders say, you know what, we're Energy Star certified. Well, Energy Star changed their specs. You have to have air exchangers now. So I walk into other models who say they're Energy Star certified, and I don't see air exchangers. What they really mean is I have an Energy Star certified appliance. Yeah. There's so many certifications and inspections we go to have to be zero energy certified, LEED certified, Florida Green Building Coalition certified, friendly landscaping certified, indoor air pure qualified certified, Florida friendly landscaping. We have every certification there is in our homes.
With everything that goes into it, it's with all the credits and everything you get back, it's well worth the extra amount that you're going to put into it just to build green. Your homeowner's insurance is less. Like you said, you get every discount available.
Every discount for homeowners insurance. Think about the health of your family. What is that worth? You can't even put a dollar sign to that.
And not everybody can say that. You're listening to Marc Schulte with Marc Rutenberg Homes. I am your host, Katrina Madewell, Tampa Home Talk. Got to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a minute.
When you were complacent, now you can't stand to fake.
Hi, this is Aaron Davis, owner of Hillsborough Title. Hillsborough Title is a local, family-owned title agency here in Tampa Bay. Our service, strength, and knowledge make us different. We've served Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Call us at 813-712-8888 or visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
Ask me about an inside secret to save several hundreds of dollars on your annual homeowner's insurance premium. Text the word WIND, W-I-N-D, to 813-377-2775. Again, 813-377-2775.
You're buying a house. Congratulations. So while you're worrying about the paperwork, leave the moving part to us. We're Woody & Sons Moving Company, a Florida licensed and insured mover, and we offer same-day written estimates. Plus, no sneaky mileage, stairs, or additional stop fees. All we ask is that you check out our great ratings on Google and Angie's List, then go to woodyandsons.com to learn more. Whether you need a full-service pack and move or some extra hands, at Woody & Sons Moving Company, we move you.
You've heard this before. Interest rates are at all-time record lows. But if your interest rate is 4% or above, you owe it to yourself to call Silverton Mortgage Specialist. Silverton is a direct lender, and the best part about this is that the entire loan process is handled in-house. From application to close, we do it all in the same building, which means that our loans close fast and our clients know what's going on every step of the way. Our contact info is located on TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show. What makes Silverton different? products. We offer VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional loans pricing. Best rates with the lowest closing cost. Process everything in-house. It's handled right here and not outsourced to anyone that no one can reach. This way we can avoid surprises. Our people are simply the best, and we know you'll agree. What will closing Silverton Mortgage Specialist mean to you? A smooth process, real home loan value, and personal attention from real professionals. Silverton Mortgage Specialists are here to serve you. Visit TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show for all of our contact details. NMLS 109600 is an equal housing lender and Florida and Georgia residential mortgage licensee.
This is Michael J. Mayer, #1 international best-selling author of 7L, the 7 levels of communication, with the subtitle of Go From Relationships to Referrals. And someone who knows how to go from relationships to referrals is your host for Tampa Home Talk, Katrina Madewell. Listen, tell your friends, spread the word. You need to listen to Tampa Home Talk every Thursday and Saturday at 5 p.m.
Welcome back. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. And in studio today, we have Ron Schulte with Marc Rutenberg Homes. And we're talking all about green homes, zero energy homes, how to not have a power bill anymore, and build an amazing home with just fabulous quality. Looking at these brochures, I mean, you guys don't lack or miss a detail anywhere.
Thank you.
If you missed any part of today's show, catch it in its entirety, because we talked all about what makes up a zero energy home and different green certifications, which you could probably easily spend a few more minutes on that, Ron. We are available at TampaHometalk.com under radio, or just hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, where we will post all of our shows at Tampa Home Talk. So I know most of the time your price range is right around $1 million plus.
Correct.
Because you're building typically, custom, all the details, all like the Cadillac, right? The Cadillac of the greenhouse.
The Tesla.
Yes, the Tesla. Yes, I like that. Way better analogy. Those are going to be usually 4,000 square foot on up.
Yes.
But you guys have a new project that you're starting, which I'm super excited to talk about, because we're going to have a few more buyers in that price range, and I would love to sell more of your homes.
Fair.
So, Sanctuary at Gray Oaks, is that right?
Sanctuary at Gray Oaks, yes.
Okay, and tell us about the community.
We have 14 homes that we're going to build there. It'll be its own gated community in front of a custom neighborhood that Mark built called Gray Oaks. So the homes are 1,850 square foot to about 2,800 square foot. The prices run from $400,000 to $650,000, but that includes your home, your lot, the pool, the green, the zero energy, all the landscaping. It's an incredible product. It's affordable. You're not going to have an electric bill, and your family's going to live in a healthy environment.
All the bells and whistles that we talked about in the earlier part of the show.
Exactly.
And so you guys are doing a lot of like construction perm loans and that kind of stuff to get or to do the building on it.
We do. Since they're all custom homes, we do construction perm financing, and I've got some great lenders with great rates and the smallest down payments for CPs in the marketplace.
Now, what do you have a general idea what it's like? Probably 5-10%, something like that. We'll leave the
down payments.
Yeah.
With a construction perm on a custom home, typically you're looking at 20% to 40% down. My lenders are at 20% to 10% down payments.
Awesome.
Which is great.
Right.
I can get fixed rate. Typically in a CP loan, you don't have a fixed rate. So I have fixed rate right now. It's at about 4%. I have adjustable rates. And, I have a lot of customers that think they want to pay their house off early. So we'll go to like a 15-year adjustable rate mortgage. You're 3.5% on it. To me, a 15... Of
course, checking credit scores and all that stuff.
Yeah, but, if you're at a 15-year adjustable, it doesn't adjust for 15 years. That's like having a fixed rate mortgage for 15 years if you had in your mind that you wanted to pay it off for earlier than 30 years.
We're seeing more and more people build wealth and, just create the discipline of saving and not having any debt and all that stuff.
I've got a good batch of customers that have done that.
So the 14 homes that you're building, can you give me an idea how big the lot size might be for each one of those?
No, I'm not going to tell you. There's very small lots. The lots are 45 foot wide by 130 foot deep. So the footprint of the house, because they're freestanding single-family homes, I'm 33 foot wide, but I'm building a home in St. Pete right now that the lots there are very small.
Oh, yeah, anything in Pinellas.
Yeah, that home is 31 foot wide. I take people into it to give them an idea what the village is going to be like, the sanctuary at Gray Oaks, and they cannot believe the spacious look to those homes. It's all in the design. That's what Mark is expert at. We've been lucky, he and I, to have built any type of housing there is. So we can get you in the right direction on budget. We can get you in the right direction on finish, and would love to have you Zero Energy.
Absolutely. I can't talk about that enough.
Thank you.
What are some of the things that you hear your customers rave about? Like after they've bought the home, they're settled in, they're living in the green home that's absolutely zero energy, no power bill. What are some of their favorite things once they get in with regards to design or the way it's built or anything?
Well, I had one gentleman call me, said, Ron, I got a problem here. I said, no, what's the problem? He said, my electric bill was $3. So I guess we messed up, but what happened was he figured out how to run the house properly, and he's at totally zero energy at this particular point. But everybody is so darn excited because they've sat down with Marc Rutenberg and myself, and they have designed their dream home. It's absolutely perfect to their lifestyle. And how could you be any more satisfied?
So you guys are not usually picking from a book of plans, or are you? Is someone designing? They're designing entirely from the ground up, plans, specs, all of it.
Yeah, I have a model, and we have about 25 plans on our webpage, but nobody ever builds those plans. We actually do a custom home for everybody.
I love that. So, your home, what I'm hearing is no two homes are going to be alike. It's kind of like, you buy an outfit at the mall and then you show up at the party and two people are wearing the same shirt. You're like, it's not going to happen with your home.
Exactly. So that puts the law of supply and demand in my people's favor when they come to sell. There's a couple of realtors in town. They don't even list a house if it's not a Marc Rutenberg home because they know they're not going to have an inspection problem. They know it's going to have a better appreciation than the other builders. And I think they're pretty smart.
Absolutely. It's everything you guys have ever put your hands on has been fabulous. There's a reason why the Rutenberg name is so acclimated and familiar in the Bay Area because the history goes back
60 years. Just here in Tampa.
That's crazy when you think about how far back that goes. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about your team, like who all is over there at Marc Rutenberg. You and Mark.
I'm the sales crew. My wife helps me.
The one that's out selling all the new kids on the block.
That's right. My son, he's a wounded vet. He does all my social media, and I'm a dinosaur. I'm 66 years old. I don't know anything about social media. So people said you can sell a lot of houses around. I said, no, you can't. Well, we're selling about 2 a month just off the Facebook. So what we'll do is we'll go out and video the home as it's being constructed because people have never seen. I have a house in Reddington Beach. We had to tear down an old house. So think about the video. It's really exciting. And then you see them prepping the slab, and then they see you pouring the slab, and then flying the trusses through the airs to set them. So we get about 25 to 50,000 hits just on our construction videos, but people get to see what we do. Most people aren't involved with that. They go buy a finished house. They have no idea what goes into that.
So your homeowner that's under contract to buy the property and has already done the construction perm loan and stuff, they are actually watching their house built like a live stream almost, right?
We video it as it goes through every stage. So I had a couple up in Canada. They called up and said, Ron, I never thought I'd go on Facebook, but we did. And the videos of the home being built, because we can't be there, it's like we were there, and we thank you so much. So I guess I'm a social media advocate now, and I never thought I would be.
Well, social media has just made basically what we've always done a little bit easier. If you think about all the people that you can connect with on Facebook or otherwise in such a short amount of time, via Facebook, you can scroll through and read 15, 20 of your friends and see what's going on with them.
Right, and you know what? PBS did a documentary on the model as it was being built. It's airing now from all the way from Alaska to the Boca Raton and every place in between. So I get calls from California, could you build us a house in LA?
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I almost forgot. I don't know how I could forget that.
And then I've got calls from North Dakota, from New York. But we're just a local regional builder, so we can't go there.
Right.
But the point is, we're alerting people that this technology is out there. And I wish I could build every zero energy home in the world, but we can't. We're limited to the greater Tampa Bay area. And you asked me before, the savings about the home. When I have a prospect that I'm walking through the model and they keep asking me, what's a payback, Ron? What's payback? I just have to stop and look at them and say, you know what? Obviously, you don't care about the environment. All you're talking about is dollars and cents. Mm-hmm. I have 17 grandchildren. I have 5 adult children. I've been feeling guilty that I've overpopulated a world, and where are they going to live someday?
Yeah.
Now we're doing our share to save this planet. And then my people look at me like I have 2 heads, and they say, you know what, you're right.
But like, I'm a little bit shallow. I really didn't mean to be.
Right, and then I'll give them the payback. 9.5 years you're paying this off. That's pretty short term.
Not to mention everything you're doing in the meantime.
You have a home that's going to appreciate better than any home in the marketplace. You're going to sell it for a profit. It's going to be maintenance free almost for you. I mean, what more could you want? So
I know you were talking about how you guys video the process. Mm-hmm. What's the construction time like?
Light years. We're a custom builder, so sometimes it takes 6 months to get a final plan done for the people, and then I've got to price it out. So I can be as much as a year, or I could be 2 years. It just depends on how my customer wants to work. Gotcha.
So by the time they actually get the plan and figure out what they want to build, actual construction time when you guys start videoing is how long?
A year.
A year.
That's for a big custom home, and that's not bad. I have a gentleman, case in point. He's with Chevron. He's in Venezuela. They bought a lot with me 2 years ago in Champions Club, and he was going to retire in 4 years. So we had a plan. I bought the lot for $200,000 under the marketplace. He called me up the other day. He said, Ron, it is getting so bad over here. When they take me to work in the morning, they have to use a different car every day, take a different route. He said, I'm going to retire early, build the house.
Wow.
So in a matter of 60 days, we have designed a custom home, sending plans from here to Venezuela and back. And he's going to be here this week. He'll pick out every selection in the house. We're going to work 12 hours a day, and we're going to start building a home. So I can gear up if people need that.
Right. Well, it's nice that you guys are so flexible that you're willing to do whatever works for the customer at that moment, right? Because we have some clients that are like ready now, and others want to be a little more cautious and take more time. It just depends on where you are at that point.
Yeah, Mark is 57 years old. He grew up in the business. It's easy to get bored. I've been doing it for 47 years. I built my first home when I was 19. We like the challenges. This is exciting to us. I mean, just talking about the zero energy, I get excited every day. You can tell how many times I've flubbed today. It's that exciting.
What phases do you guys video the process that you show online? I know you said you video a lot of different places.
If it's a tear down, and a lot of homes that we build now are tear downs, we start with the demolition of that home. That's really interesting.
Oh, man.
Then as we get
Except for maybe the person that's watching their old house get demolished. Maybe not for them, but...
Well, they have the dollars in
right?
their pocket. They sold it, yeah. And then as they do the site prep, we document that. Then we put in the stem wall for our slab. We document that. The slab pour is a huge milestone. We do that. As they fly the trusses onto that roof, we do it. As we start putting interior trim into the home, as we do the swimming pool. I mean, the whole phase, they could sit down and watch their home being built once we're finished.
And here's the thing, too. If a builder is willing to not only allow you to be there, but video every phase of the home, they're not hiding anything. The quality's there. You're watching every step of the way.
I didn't think of that, but yes, you're right.
I mean, I'm just telling you stuff that I'm playing devil's advocate, right? The stuff that we hear being in the field.
I agree.
So.
I agree. And like you said, a lot of people, 25 to 50,000 people are looking at every one of those videos. So there's a lot of people that are watching me. And I can take the heat.
That's right. You got to take the heat. You got to get out of the kitchen. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. And in studio today, we have Ron Schulte with Marc Rutenberg Homes talking all about green and zero energy homes. Absolutely amazing show. If you missed any part of it, catch it in its entirety on our podcast at Tampa Home Talk. TampaHometalk.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Just Google Tampa Home Talk and you'll find us. Be back in a minute.
Can take it, there's a way you can't escape it. Chose this long back when you were complacent. Now you can't stand to.
Aaron Davis here, owner of Hillsborough Title, serving all of Tampa Bay. Our service strength and knowledge make us different. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
You're buying a house. Congratulations. So while you're worrying about the paperwork, leave the moving part to us. We're Woody & Sons Moving Company, a Florida licensed and insured mover, and we offer same-day written estimates. Plus, no sneaky mileage, stairs, or additional stop fees. All we ask is that you check out our great ratings on Google and Angie's List, then go to woodyandsons.com to learn more. Whether you need a full-service pack and move or some extra hands, at Woody & Sons Moving Company, we move you.
Hey, Katrina Madewell here. Just wanted to make sure you know how to reach us on our off-air number. If you'd like to connect with myself or any of our guests, you can call us at 813-377-2775. Again, this is Katrina Madewell, host of Tampa Home Talk, and to connect with myself or any guests we have on air, just call or text at 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775.
Don't turn it off now. You need this stuff. Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back, and you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. In studio today, we have Ron Schulte with Marc Rutenberg Homes. Fantastic job talking about green homes and zero energy homes. And we were just talking a little bit about the break. I was asking Marc Rutenberg. I was asking Ron, what are the maintenance costs? Like after you actually build the home, are the maintenance costs on something that's built so well and so green, are the maintenance costs less?
They're less. Remember I said that our AC system has a 10-year warranty? All the other manufacturers have 5 years. And here's the thing about AC. Nobody can get comfortable in their home, so they're getting to the thermostat and they're pushing it up and they're pushing it down, and that motor on the condenser is cycling on and off so many times that if it has a 5-year warranty, probably in 5 years and 3 months it's gone. We've had this experience. The fact that I can set my thermostat at 80 degrees and be totally comfortable, maybe we'll take it down to 78. But the point is, that fan, that motor is not running very often. So that 10-year warranty that I have is probably, that unit's going to last for 20 years. When I was a kid...
Wear and tear.
Exactly. And it's $20,000 to replace, a major AC system for a 4,000, 5,000 square foot home. And I don't think in my customer's lifetime that they're going to have to spend a penny on that.
What were you going to say about when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, it was really funny when I built my first house, my parents gave me their old appliances. They were like 20 years old, and they ran for years. Nowadays, all of us know you get a washer dryer, you get a refrigerator, and they're only good for about 5 years. The quality isn't there. So now I've got products that are tried and true, and they have 10 to 20-year lifetimes. That's remarkable.
When you talk about appliances, I can't tell you the times we walk into homes, built in the 50s sometimes, and you have this original stove that was like, grandma or your great-grandma's stove that's still there. It's still working. Yeah. And it's not broke. Your worst thing is when it finally does break, you probably can't get parts for it.
Right.
But when you replace it with something brand new, you're talking a few-year life cycle.
Exactly. On appliances, we use JennAir and KitchenAid. My customers typically want to get Sub-Zero and Wolf. The only thing is...
What was that, Sub-Zero and what?
Wolf.
What's that mean?
Wolf appliances.
Okay.
The great stoves are called Wolfs or Thermadors.
I was thinking acronym. That's why you threw me off.
Okay, yeah, it's a brand. So they don't have as good an Energy Star rating as our KitchenAid and JennAir. So that's why we use those products. But the optimum thing about that is those appliances cost a fraction of what a Sub-Zero Wolf does. So it helps on the budget for the home as well. And they're maintenance free.
And you were talking about some of the other features that actually go into the home. A lot of those with health features. And I've done some shows in the past just on green building, green upgrades, green not only recycling, but also like renovating and that kind of stuff. And I remember it was, I don't know, several years ago, one of the environmentalist people that I had brought in were talking about low and no VOC paint.
Right.
You want to break that down and explain what it is?
I'll do that, and I'm going to have to talk fast again because there's so much to say. So, paints, remember, all the realtors have to have you sign this disclosure that says there is or is not lead paint and lead in the paint. Well, you know what they did? They took the lead out of the paint and they put formaldehyde in it. Formaldehyde.
That sounds like a good trade.
Yeah, that's so you're embalming yourself in the house because that's what formaldehyde is used for. So we don't have any chemicals. We don't have formaldehyde. We don't have lead in our paints. That makes it a healthy house. The drywall in the house. Remember the Chinese sheetrock?
Yes, Chinese drywall. We had so much of an issue with that, and we had so much of it in our area that a lot of our relocations ask if it was built around that time, does it have Chinese drywall?
So here's the deal. Drywall is made out of gypsum. Gypsum is full of sulfur, and what happened is the Chinese bore the brunt of everything. U.S. sheetrock, British, Australian, everybody uses gypsum, and everybody's off-gassing sulfur into your home. It's unhealthy. We use a synthetic drywall that has no sulfur in it, but the byproduct is it's a soundproofer in the house. It's mold and mildew resistance. And remember, when you go through the models, you see all these textured walls and heavier texture in the ceiling?
Yes.
I don't have textured walls. It's a totally smooth finish. People go nuts over it. I have arched walls in the house. There's not an imperfection anywhere. So I'm getting a beautiful finish. I'm not off-gassing sulfur, and it's just healthy and mold and mildew resistant. I don't have any mold or mildew in my house to start with because of dehumidification, the products I use. Then you talk about lumber. All of our interior doors, trim, crown molding is a composite, not MDF, but a composite of sawdust, wood shavings, and epoxy. So I didn't cut down a new tree. I have wood ceilings on the lanai and wood ceilings in the front porch. And you know what? That's lumber that was reclaimed from the Suwannee River. It's probably 500 years old that they pulled up out of the river and milled them, and that's what we used for our ceilings in those outdoor areas. I have cypress beams in my study. Again, it's reclaimed from the river. To get lumber that big, the tree was probably 500 years old when it was logged back in the 1800s, and now it's been pulled out of the river, and it's in my ceiling. Is that exciting?
Does it dry out?
No.
It stays wet?
It's dry. It's dried.
Okay.
I thought you meant would it keep drying, but no, there's no issue with it.
Yeah, not like dry out raw. Like, is it dry, not wet?
It's not wet. Yeah, exactly. Or we wouldn't have it.
I know it sounds like a silly question, right?
No, it's an okay question. The roof tile that we use is a Boral product. We use a lot of clay tiles that are totally recycled materials. Our pavers are a pervious material. So all the building codes require that you only build so much of a rooftop and what they call an impervious structure on the land. There's a percentage. A lot of them are only 50% impervious. So we're putting these big houses on these little tiny lots. But with my different products that I'm using, like my pervious paver, the water comes off the rooftop. It sinks right through the pavers into the aquifer. So I get 100% credit for that. I had one house that was so big that we actually had to do cisterns to collect the rainwater, which we used for the irrigation, and then I got 100% credit for that. So we're just so far past what everybody else is doing in the marketplace.
Is there anything special that you guys are doing, like with the foundation, when you start actually building? Is there anything you're doing that are a little bit different as far as green standards are concerned?
Well, funny you ask, because the model, we used a product called Bluecrete. The Bluecrete doesn't have Portland cement in it. Portland cement probably accounts for about 10 to 20% of the carbon footprint in the world. I don't have any Portland in my slab. It's totally healthy.
Okay, so explain that to me again. What is Portland?
Your concrete slab.
Okay.
It's that slab, the material they use is Portland, which is essentially a lye type of a product, sand and water.
Right.
I don't have any Portland in ours.
So what is it made out of?
It's made out of totally organic products.
Wow.
And therefore I don't have a carbon footprint, which is remarkable. You know, little things like hot water. The reason we save so much water in a house is, you know how we used to stand at the faucet and you turn the hot water on and it takes 5 minutes to get it. Well, we have a sensor in each one of the rooms where there's a faucet and a recirculating pump from the hot water heater to each one of the faucets. So if you walked into the laundry room, the sensor is saying, well, they're in the laundry room, there's a faucet, you're probably going to want hot water, so all hot water goes to that faucet immediately. In 3 seconds, you have hot water. If you had people that went to the master suite, somebody to a bathroom, master suite bathroom, somebody to the guest bathroom, and somebody in the laundry room, and somebody in the kitchen, it's going to split the hot water 4 ways so that you have instant hot water at each one of those faucets. So you're not wasting that water. And it's one thing to pay for the water, but you're also paying for the sewage on it because they match that to your water meter. So they're assuming if you draw water that you're going to send it down the drain.
Right.
So that's how we save so much money on our water. So all these basic things.
So tankless, of course, tankless solar.
Well, we're actually using a solar thermal hot water here because it's more efficient with what we're doing with the solar panels. So I have a 120-gallon stainless steel tank. Typically on a day like today, the solar panels are about 150 degrees. The water in the tank's 145 degrees. I never use the override with electric to cook hot water in the house.
That's crazy. And the fireplaces, I never even thought about a fireplace being green.
It is. So
what the heck makes up a green fireplace?
We have these burners that are manufactured to run on a biofuel. So biofuel is the guys that make spirits and wines, the fruits. The people that make beer, the hops, they distill the leftovers into a fuel. I pour it into these ports. I light it with my candle lighter, and I have a green fire. It doesn't off gas. It doesn't smoke. And then I don't have to have a chimney.
So there's no carbon monoxide. There's none of the stuff that you have with a traditional fireplace.
No soot, no cleanup. You don't smell that old log for the rest of your life. You're not burning a fossil fuel like natural gas. It's a green fireplace.
Wow. That is so amazing. We didn't even really touch on even a lot of the features that you have, like the travertine, the big travertine throughout, crown molding in all the rooms. We barely touched on the impact glass for all your windows. I just want to make sure we don't miss anything because we talked about so many things, and it really is an amazing home. I'm going to have Jody hold this up and flip through the pages. So for the person that's watching the show on YouTube at Tampa Home Talk, you can have a look at some of the custom homes that Marc Rutenberg builds. Spectacular product.
Jody, in the back pocket, there's a little catalog that summarizes the zero energy and green products that we use in the house. And the picture on the front cover of that's the green fireplace.
Oh, nice. So, how much of the house is solar?
We run 100% of solar.
So all of it is solar.
Yeah, so we're producing 15,000 watts of power.
I guess I worded that wrong. So the solar is going through the entire house to do everything, right?
Yeah, so we have 60 solar panels.
Okay.
So that's 15.
And are those on the roof or where are they?
They're on the roof.
Okay.
And
no issues with leaks, right? With the
absolutely.
Always a question everybody asks.
When you install new, there's no issue with it. If you retrofitted, you could run the risk of a leak because you're penetrating that roof to secure them. But we build.
You're planning and preparing for that.
Exactly. So in this particular home, I have never had an electric bill. I got almost $3,000 back at the end of the year with surplus power that I sold to the power company. We can't figure out a downside to this at all.
What an amazing show we've had today. We're going to show you a couple more pictures online, and we're going to post a bunch more over at Tampa Home Talk and on our Facebook page. If you miss any part of today's show, talking with Ron Schulte of Marc Rutenberg Homes, all about green homes, green home building, zero energy, no power bill, gotta love that, and reducing your carbon footprint. Check us out at Tampa Home Talk, tampahometalk.com under radio. We'll be here same time, same place next week. For this week, we're out.